This is a fan-generated show. If you would like to support us, please go to jamieglazov.com, and also don't forget to subscribe to our YouTube channel. All your support is greatly appreciated.
But I'm going to pass it on to the inimitable, the indomitable, the incredible, and indescribable Jamie Glazov.
Thank you so much, Nick. So, my friends, fighting cultural Marxism, when we have 8 to 10 minutes, what do we talk about? So, I'm going to angle it on my book because what I'm very interested in and what we all have to keep in mind is the deception that the enemy engages. It's very, very important to know that we are always being deceived. And this is also somewhere where, unfortunately, conservatives are not just on many levels over the years fighting culture war, and heroes like David have turned that around. But we don't understand the propaganda war very well either, because we have to get better in that. But that's what I want to talk a little bit about today in terms of fighting cultural Marxism, that there's a game being played. And my book, Jihad, a Psychopath, I'll just say very quickly, for years I studied psychopaths. And I began to see that as I was studying the Islamization of America and of the West, every single tactic that psychopaths use to capture their victims and devour their victims. And we have them as neighbors, we have them at our work. Some of us have them as our families. Some of us are psychopaths too, and I know people didn't like reading my book because they saw themselves. But I want to just talk about 2 or 3 of those themes, because once we understand who psychopaths are, we begin to understand how they operate. And so I just want to spend a little bit of time on that. There was a series lately, I can't remember exactly the name of it, but it's about the spies in England that were in the MI5 and the government. And one of the spies that worked for the Soviet Union, when he finally confessed and was talking to one of the people that found him out, the spy was sleeping with the guy's wife. And they did it on purpose. That's how the KGB worked on all these levels. And the guy in the government said, "Why?" And he said, "So you could not see me straight." See, they're very, very shrewd. So if you sleep with the guy's wife, the guy can't see straight because he's, so there's always a deception going on. And so let me just begin with this. There's a certain step-by-step pattern in which psychopaths work, and I hope you guys take a peek at my work, because it's not just the Islamic supremacists that are engaged in this. My whole life, I've dedicated myself to understanding the left and why the left is allied with Islam. Not only is it allied, but because it shares the same goals and it's the same entity, it engages in the same tactics. Now, I hope I don't offend some people here today, but I can't prevent it from talking in religious terms, because as a Christian, we see a spiritual battle here. And of course, our Jewish brothers and sisters also see a spiritual battle, and we share a lot in common in how we see it. But I'll just begin with this. The psychopath learns best from his master, and that's the serpent. So very quickly, I'll just begin, and Dinesh D'Souza has done great work on this. When the serpent spoke to Eve, it was very important for the serpent to say, "This is in your interest." And you need to keep this in mind while we're in this cultural battle, because this is a very key theme of the deception. This is in your interest to do this. But the serpent knew that Eve would fall because of that. I don't have the time today, but I document in every single way where the Islamic supremacists are telling us that this is in your interest, what you need to do. And the left engages in exactly the same thing, what it tells us that we need. During that romance stage, there is very much a "we are a lot alike" stage. I know many psychopaths like this. All my life, these people that you hardly know, and all of a sudden they're telling you that you're soulmates and they agree with you and you guys are a lot alike. Be wary of those people. And I'm not saying that sometimes it's not true, but the people that you hardly know and you know something's going on, it's the romance stage. So I just want to stress this today. In terms of the Islamic supremacist stage, romance stage, Who love Jesus? We love Jesus. You respect Jesus? We respect Jesus too. And that need for deception, that hunger for deception, it's rooted in our DNA somewhere. We have to battle against that. That's why we're fighting an uphill battle, because I would say a large percentage, or maybe most people, Kenneth Levin has documented this in the Oslo syndrome, dying to be deceived. One of the fellow travelers during the Soviet Union, he said to the Soviet host, he said, "You deceived us." And the host said to him, "But you wanted to be deceived." And so many Christians are just salivating, oh, they love Jesus and we like Jesus, the battle's over, everything is okay. We are a lot alike. The clever Christian, the brave Christian that doesn't need delusion will say, oh, you love Jesus? Let me ask you something. Did Jesus die on the cross for our sins? Is Jesus a member of the Holy Trinity? Is Jesus the Son of God, divine? And then the Islamic supremacist turns ashen white and runs away, or gets angry and starts screaming. But it takes courage to do that. It takes courage to see the situation for what it is, that huge battle is not ahead of us.